Evening message on May 4th, 2022. Don't compose the mind. That is like composing the anicca, the suffering, maintaining for what? The anicca. Form and formlessness, any state, inside and outside is anicca. Why maintaining the anicca? Why maintaining it? To create exhaustion there. Even disregarding has nothing to do with itself. Continue to uninvolve with it. The uninvolved is not about anything within itself. Completely cut through the mind totally, cut through the delusive attachment totally, all inclusive there, cut through. It's not about anything within the unvolved itself, deliberately, totally. It will not be about anything with the anicca, with the dukkha and anatta, all by itself. It will have nothing to do with anything at all by itself. Nothing is within the unvolved itself right away. The disregard is uninvolved with itself right away. Don't go around. It's long winding. Don't be weakened. Nothing is within the unvolved itself right away. Nothing is within the unvolved itself right away. Nothing is within the unvolved itself right away. The disregard is not about anything within itself right away. That is detachment that has nothing within itself, non-attachment that has nothing within itself. Don't be engrossed with disregarding or not, on and on. Don't be in the way of disregarding with reserving manners, being in stillness, in indifference, in equanimity, making oneself composing, reserving manners with the delusive attachment. Don't be obsessed with the delusion in reserving manners, on and on. The uninvolved has nothing within itself instantly. Disregarding has nothing within itself instantly. Simultaneously for the internal and the external. Stillness has nothing within itself instantly. The indifference has nothing within itself instantly. This will not create realm of existence in it. No exception whether it's stillness or indifference. When there is an exception, it will create samsara and realm of existence. Within the dwelling, it's just about the delusive attachment. There is no real self. There is just a stubbornly persisting to fixate, to be drowned, to maintain. That's all. If it's not yet ending to give significance and meanings, there is still that one that creates cycle of becoming, still creating it. Each time that one gives significance and meanings and involvement, the cycle of becoming is created right away, immediately. Nothing is within the arising or the ceasing. This is very good blessing through Nibbana for samsara. Nothing is within the disregarding instantly in all titi, in all opinions and meanings. With this, it will be brightening by the Anubhav, the mighty force, without traces, purifying onwards, constantly. To be engrossed with just thinking, maintaining, how can there be any brightness there? Still something within oneself, something within any state that is there. How can there be compassion or great compassion for samsara? Still being stuck, maintaining the anicca, maintaining that which is not maintaining itself, being stuck with just dukkhang, being stuck with just maintaining that which is not about maintaining the anicca. How can there be compassion or great compassion to purify samsara through the emptiness? Being stuck with just gaining or losing, being within any state, within any Dharma attainment, being deluded to gain, to lose within Dharma, on and on. This is still circling. Nothing is within the unmoved itself instantly. Nothing is within the unmoved itself. Disregarding has nothing within itself. No discards know itself. No is not even know itself. Don't fall in stillness, huh? To discreetly fall in stillness and indifference, that is the center of Vedana and hindrances. That is unbearable already. Even ordinariness is impossible. There is still traces there to be dominated by the Vedana, hindrances, vibha, karmic difficulties of all beings. The ordinariness has the seed of maintaining, the seed of sinking. Even ordinariness is not the way. Disregard, even from the disregard itself, has nothing to do with being ordinary or not. The ordinary mind or not has nothing to do here. Unevolved has nothing to do with itself. Don't be obsessed with something that is ordinary or not, on and on. Something that is still or not still, on and on. That is being engrossed with advertisement. Mindfulness, concentration, contemplation, making believe to grasp the anatta in the Dharma, grasping the Dharma that doesn't even grasp itself, being deluded to grasp that which is not grasping itself. This is making believe, deceiving, huh? Deludedly setting up that which is not about setting up, to grasp. Even the disregard has nothing to do with itself. Uninvolved is not even the uninvolved itself. Go ahead. No is not about anything within itself right away. No is not even know itself. Nothing is within know itself. Then it will be the unwinding that discards itself. Whatever that have been deludedly setting up to gain, whether it's worldly or Dharma, being deludedly setting up to gain towards that which is not about grasping. Even the setting up itself, the expectation, is anatta within itself, is meaningless in itself. Whatever that is having anything to do with expectation is already bygone in itself. It has been so intensive and being serious in it. Whatever that is formed up that has no purification in itself, which is not bygone to itself, fixated to the suffering and fixated to itself, may all and everything that has been determined for, projected for, within the world and samsara, within body, mind, and Dharma, and teaching each other in all that deludedly setting up to gain, which is not aligned with Nibbana as it is, which is not aligned with Nirodha as it is, which is not aligned with emptiness as it is, non-attachment as it is, or the delusion to integrate and fabricate Dharma all by oneself, deludedly grasping Dharma that fabricated all by oneself, integrated all by oneself. Even Dharma is by itself unable to grasp it. That which is not following the enlightenment, only just fixated and grasped, following to grasp. May everything that has been distorted totally, no matter what, may it be forgiven. Ahosi, ahosi, ahosi. Totally giving the essence for the internal and the external absolutely, fully. Brighten out in a way that has nothing within the disregarding, in a way that has nothing within the uninvolved itself, has nothing within no or yes, all by itself. No is not even no itself. With this, it will be truly purifying through the extinction and the emptiness. The awakening is uninvolved with itself. It doesn't grasp itself. All the Kamasthana meditation and Vipassana meditation, which there is a personhood who have the expectation in there for attainment, may it be forgiven. Ahosi, ahosi, ahosi. That's the grasping that doesn't let go of itself, always having desire and expectation in it. It doesn't let go of itself, always adding on top of the karma and samudaya within Dharma, always adding on top of itself. Nothing is within the disregard itself. It's not about anything within the unwolf itself right away. Don't wait for anything. Don't be obsessed with slowing down with the mind. Nothing is within the unwolf itself. Don't be obsessed with slowing down within the mind, within stillness, indifference, ordinariness, being drowsy and sinking while dwelling. Purify the attempt to dwell and to fixate instantly. Nothing is in anything. Nothing is within Nong itself. Nothing is within this isn't it itself. Don't be engrossed with all that seeing and knowing and make believe in it. Don't be obsessed to make believe within focusing in the looking, seeing and knowing, overlaying and being stuck with something on and on. Unwolf is not about anything within itself instantly. Nothing is within Nong itself. With this, it will be unwinding discards itself, the unwinding that doesn't grasp itself. No, it's not know itself. Don't be engrossed with lengthening or shortening on and on. This is like you are helped to cancel. Do it by yourself. Cancel it by yourself. Being obsessed with being ordinary or not, on and on. That is the delusive attachments that root down to the state of mind, the body, Dharma. It's not the disregard itself. The attempt to dwell is so much here. unrealized that what it is that is really the attempt to dwell, to sink in the mind. This is the attempt to dwell, dwelling within the earth, air, water and fire, within feelings, thoughts, recalls, dwelling within looking, seeing and knowing, within the mind. This is called the attempt to dwell. This is all about samudaya. Therefore, be intensive in the way to deliberately cut through. Uninvolved, that is not about anything within itself, right away. Disregard, that is not about anything within itself, right away. Intensively, powerfully. A tiny bit of stillness is already an attempt to dwell, dwelling within the stillness. A tiny bit of the indifference is also an attempt to dwell within the indifference. All that which is not about anything has nothing to do with being still or not, indifferent or not. Why is it so? Because it's uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. Make a conclusion in the way that is deliberate and absolute. Nothing is within the uninvolved itself, continuously forming up itself to purify itself. Let there be the form up that purifies itself, the reminder that purifies itself, the recalls that purify itself. Let there be the purification through the reminder continuously. What is there that is purifying anything? Purifying through the extinction for the internal and the external. The projection of the mind through looking, seeing and knowing without purification well, there is only just contacts and clashes. There is no good result there. Involved within itself, well with it. Otherwise, there will be no purification through the extinction and the emptiness. There's just clashes. There is only contacts and clashes, no good result here. Only hurting and harming. A lot of Vedana and hindrances that follows. Therefore, let's purify simultaneously, together with looking, seeing and knowing. all at once. Nothing is within the disregard itself all at once. The unwinding that discards itself, that doesn't grasp itself. The unwinding that is meaningless in itself. Being pleased with stillness and indifference, even a tiny bit, it will be stuck within samsara for a long time, difficult to move, falling into the realms that is lengthening in its period, always sinking in stillness and indifference, creating karmic difficulties in sinking and maintaining for a long term, unable to cut through deluded knowing, unable for enlightenment. Being pleased with stillness and indifference is no good result at all. It's the special karmic payback zone within sinking and maintaining in a long period of time. Therefore, diligently make a conclusion that purifies itself constantly. Well with the essence. Well to share the essence. Nothing is within the disregard itself, well with it. Nothing is within know itself, well with it. It will be all about non-attachment automatically. The Anupap will be liberation to help samsara by ways of form-up terminologies as such. It will be helping through ending for samsara continuously by this form-up terminology. It will give ending to the delusion of mindfulness, concentration, wisdom, contemplation. Ending for all the delusion within Dharma, within the form-up of Dharma. It will give ending to the circling of Dharma to dominate oneself, it will give ending to the personhood who creates cycle of becoming. That attributes of meanings and significance is the desire or attributes to create cycle of becoming. Whenever there is the beginning, within is the desire that creates cycle of becoming. Significance and meanings within the mind, within aggregates, elements and Dharma. Being engrossed with significance and meanings, that is the attributes of the desire that creates cycle of becoming. Nothing is within the disregard itself. Nothing is within the unworth itself. Nothing is within know itself. Deliberately cut through to help samsara continuously. Don't be obsessed with lingering, weakening, not helping to bless samsara, not helping through ending for samsara, but being dominated by samsara instead. Don't be considerate to the mind and regret to the well within the mind or the existence of the mind. This has nothing to do with the existence of the mind, having nothing to do with having the mind or not. Uninvolved is not about anything within itself. With this, it will not create lifetime through body and mind, or creating realm of existence through purify the grasping mind itself. The disregard is not about anything with itself, then it will purify the grasping mind. It will not be a delusion that creates realm of existence within form and formlessness. No grasping is not about anything within itself. It will not be about anything within anicca, dukkha and anatta all by itself. It will not be about anything within know itself automatically. Go ahead simultaneously, all the same without discrimination. In one sentence, it's all about enlightenment and the blessing which is simultaneous through the cutting in itself. This is not about cutting to grasp itself. It's about helping to cut through the cutting of the deluded knowing, and the blessing is one. It's simultaneously giving. This is not about grasping the cutting, helping through cutting for samsara. We're with it. You know what does it mean to well to give, well to give, the essence. To be obsessed with something within goodness or not goodness. Beware of that. To give significance and meaning to the goodness or not. beware of it. That is the engrossed with fabrication of feelings, emotions towards one another, making face towards one another, beware of it. Creating something out of nothing, beware of it. Form is not form itself. Formlessness is not formlessness itself. The mind is not the mind itself. The body is not the body itself. All the manifestation is temporary. Being engrossed to use knowing and seeing to make believe in it and emphasize on it, and then deludedly fabricating it, taking sight on the delusion of knowing and seeing, fixated and grasp towards that which is not about fixation or grasping, deludedly giving meaning to that which has no meaning at all to itself. The knowing and the seeing, emphasizing on itself, making believe in itself, on and on. And then it's going further towards significance and meanings, variously, deludedly giving meanings towards the meaninglessness as it is. It is called deluded viewpoints, happening all by oneself, deluded in knowing or not knowing all by oneself, being deluded to one's own viewpoint in this way and that way. Beware. Cutting is not anything in cutting itself. So don't be deludedly making believe that oneself is someone who is the cutter. The cutting is not about anything within itself at all. The disregard is not about anything within itself. So don't be engrossed with self-significance that one is disregarding or not disregarding, unable to cut or not. No is not even know itself. Nothing is within know itself. Well with it. Let's purify well the purification that is not about anything within itself, forming it up to purify onwards with the terminologies of ending as a foundation to help samsara. The ending that is not about anything within the ending itself. If there is the ending that is I am ending, what is it in there that is not true ending? Even uninvolved is not about anything within itself. Even the emptiness is not about anything within itself. Who is it emptying out? Who is it that is attempting to be empty? Which kind of entity right there? Even emptiness is not emptiness itself. This is only about deluded viewpoints that is covering up, being obsessed to give meanings, interpretations, and opinions. This is the titi that is dominated. The emptiness is not emptiness itself. So who is it that is deludedly emptying or not emptying? Who is it? Which identity is it? Disregard is not about anything within itself, then it will be true disregarding. The disregarding that is not about someone who is disregarding is not even the disregard itself. Let's purify without boundaries. It's not just about the tangible or intangible of this universe. Samsara that is universal. How many universes there are, how many stars and planets there are. To be stuck with just body, mind, stillness or not, indifferent or not, seeing or not seeing, knowing or not knowing. How can there be right through the Ananda universes? Let there be automatic non-limitations. Let's not be limited with just the internal or the external, disregard or not. Let's not be limited with just Nibbana or not, being empty or not. Let's not be limited with just having the titi about being empty or not, knowing or not knowing. That which has no limitations or boundaries. That which is not about anything within involvement or uninvolvement, nothing within disregarding or not. That which has nothing within the arising or the ceasing. That which is not about yes or no. This will be fully unwinding, discarding itself. Then there will be no boundaries in purification altogether. With this, it will be blessing samsara without guessing, without unclarity. Nothing is within the disregard itself, absolutely. Don't guess, don't be obsessed to observe, to create confusion there. Be clear to deliberately cut through the cutting itself. The uninvolved is not about anything within itself, then it will be truly uninvolved. Don't be obsessed to practice something. Be direct to the essence of cutting, to the cutting itself, internally and externally simultaneously, without limitations. Don't be obsessed to root down with something until it's so stained. Be direct to the essence of the deliberate cut through. Nothing is within the disregard itself. Nothing is within decision itself. Knowing so much so that it creates confusion. The delusion in the knowing make it confusing. All about vichā, avicca, deludedly knowing, deludedly not knowing, with significance and meanings. This is all about samudāya overlaying. Be direct to the essence of the deliberate cut through in itself. Don't be long-winding with observing to create density and stains totally. Don't be obsessed to be concerned with something within knowing or seeing, being clear or not clear with something. Directly disregarding, don't be obsessed to use seeing and knowing too much. Nothing is within the disregarding continuously. Continue to give the essence of the enlightenment or cutting deluded knowing. Don't give the knowing to them. They already have it. Giving the essence of the enlightenment for them. Don't give the knowing and seeing for them. Samsara already have it. Nothing is within the uninvolved itself. Let's move on like this altogether. With this, it will help through the unwinding towards the impossible to unwind from samsara. Let's move on with the blessing in every situation, in every form up. Let's purify simultaneously, which is called the blessing, purifying through the emptiness altogether.